Hey, welcome back everyone. This is Uncle Frank, and I am not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. Happy Thanksgiving to all my subscribers and your families. Historically, the market has performed positively on Black Friday, although trading is typically light during the shortened session. The market will call time on trading at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Friday after Thanksgiving, while the bond market will remain open until 2 p.m. The S&P 500 has risen on 50 out of 71 Black Fridays since 1950, with an average gain of 0.27%. Stocks soar in attempt to erase November losses from the daily peel, just when investors thought that the market had already been exhausted with all the negative news. Bulls regain their driver's seats and steer a mini rally in an attempt to get the market into the green for November. This also comes after bets for Fed Reserve interest rate cuts revived. Currently, the CME FedWatch Futures Index shows an 85% probability of a quarter percentage point cut. The stock market's Thanksgiving week parade kept marching on Wednesday. The Dow rose 315 points, or 0.7%. The S&P was also up 0.7%. The Nasdaq was up 0.8%. The S&P and Dow are riding their best Thanksgiving week performances since 2012, while the Nasdaq is having its best since 2008. There's Bitcoin's year-to-date on your screen. Bitcoin pushed above 90,000 Wednesday afternoon after nearly a week below that level. The move breaks a pattern that held for most of the past decade. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving has been brutal for Bitcoin. 6 out of 7 years saw declines, with massive drops in 2020 and 2021. At the time of this recording Thursday morning, I've got Bitcoin at 90,744. Research firm K33 is calling Bitcoin a strong buy, despite its 36% drop from record highs. Bitcoin has underperformed the Nasdaq in 70% of sessions over the past month. Spot volumes hit 14.3 billion when Bitcoin dropped to 80,500 on November 21st, the sixth highest trading day of 2025. Look, I think Bitcoin is a box of shit. I don't think it's digital gold. I call it the Epstein coin now, but it's 55 to 60% of the entire crypto market, so I have to keep an eye on it. The Bitcoin price regained the 91,000 level after weeks of declines. This comes as hopes for a Fed rate cut in December grows. Notably, JP Morgan has predicted the cut could happen in the upcoming FOMC meeting. We get that decision on December 10th. Look, XRP and Bitcoin have a positive correlation. XRP tracks Bitcoin, but that's weakening. The sooner XRP decouples from the rest of the projects that do absolutely nothing, the better. But until that happens, this is what I'm watching. Bitcoin and USDT, the sign of liquidity everyone's watching. Glassnode's latest 2-year research indicates a firm negative correlation between the price of Bitcoin and USDT exchange flows, suggesting that Bitcoin pumps when USDT leaves exchanges, not when it enters. USDT outflow at 126,000 Bitcoin peak reached 220 million a day. Profit-taking and stablecoin off-ramps were present at each local top. Funds have pushed 3.55 billion out of ETFs this month. Now, Bitcoin has regained 90,900 and fear and greed start rising again, 15 to 18. The signal? Stablecoin flows are emerging as one of crypto's most reliable macro signals. Public companies now collectively hold nearly 1 million Bitcoin, and over 90% of it sits in U.S. hands. The new Bitcoin Treasuries dashboard lets you track corporate holdings in real time to see which firms are accumulating or trimming positions. You can compare market values and explore the growing institutional footprint behind Bitcoin's supply. That's a pretty handy tool Uncle Frank is turning you on to, right? You want me to do XRP's treasuries now, don't you? Well, CoinMarketCap doesn't offer that yet, but CoinGecko does. Not as prolific as Bitcoin's, but we just started out on the XRP treasury strategy, only showing two public companies here, Evernorth and Galaxy, with over 473 million coins held, with the value just over 1 billion. But back in October, I remembered an article from Coinpedia that listed which companies are holding $11.5 billion worth of XRP, including SBI Holdings, $10.4 billion. Trident Digital planned to do $500 million. Weebus was planning to do $300 million, and Vivo Power and Wellgistics Health each planned to do $100 million. What I take from this is SBI holds over $10 billion worth of XRP. World Liberty Financial just bought back $7.7 million worth of its own tokens at 16 cents each, the largest buyback since launch. The token has still crashed almost 50% since January. The Trump family's crypto fortune dropped from $7.7 billion in early September to $6.7 billion by late November. At the time of this recording, I have it at 16 cents, down 48.47% year to date. I found this interesting from Uphold. If crypto makes it through November, is it too early to start talking about a Santa rally? According to CoinDesk, traders have piled into bullish-leaning positions looking out toward the end of the year. Call options action indicates some intense betting on Bitcoin heading to as high as 118,000. This kind of strike price coveting signals expectations for a December rally. Futures markets indicate a healthy appetite for altcoins, including Ethereum and Solana. Open interest suggests that traders are flocking to the risk-taking approach of buying with leverage, CoinDesk said. I don't like Ethereum much more than Bitcoin, but at least it serves a purpose, and I bought the dip in my own way. Ethereum's price has rallied past the 3,000 mark, gaining momentum ahead of the much-anticipated Fusaka upgrade. Over the past 24 hours, the Ethereum price recorded a 3% increase, supported by a broader crypto market recovery. I get exposure to Ethereum through the Roundhill Ether Covered Call Strategy ETF, stock symbol YETH, which utilizes a synthetic covered call strategy that seeks to provide current income on a weekly basis, while also providing exposure to the price of Ethereum. From Zero Hedge, armed robber targets Sam Altman's ex-boyfriend's house, forces transfer of $11 million in crypto. A thief barged into a house owned by Lacey Groom, a wealthy tech investor who once dated OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, tied up a victim, and made off with $11 million in crypto Saturday evening in San Francisco, the New York Post reports. I don't know if you guys have heard of the SOFX report, but this guy is a gem for under-the-radar information. OpenAI denies liability in a teenager's suicide, saying ChatGPT was misused. Adam Rain's parents sued the company in August, alleging wrongful death, design defects, and a failure to alert users to potential risks of the chatbot. President Nicolas Maduro vowed to defend every inch of Venezuela amid anticipated U.S. operations. A Chinese private firm, Space Transportation, unveiled the YKJ-1000 hypersonic missile, capable of speeds from Mach 5 to 7, ranges of 310 to 807 miles. Foreign spies are increasingly targeting U.S. soldiers, civilians, and their families. The Army's top intelligence officer, Lieutenant General Hale, warned in a message to over 1 million personnel. He said adversaries often pose as recruiters or consulting companies to trick Army members online. And Israeli forces carried out raids in the Palestinian town of Tubas, West Bank, as part of a broad counter-terrorism operation expected to continue for several days. The troops blocked roads, occupied homes, and distributed leaflets warning that the area had become a haven for terrorism. Sure it has. If any of you are looking to do some shopping on Black Friday, I recommend this article from Wired titled "The Absolute Best Black Friday Deals Worth Your Money. It's peak purchase season," and our reviews team has scoured the entire internet to find the best Black Friday deals on gear we've tested and approved. Okay, again, Uncle Frank is calling bullshit here. Layoffs are piling up, raising worker anxiety. Here are some companies that have cut jobs recently. All those big layoff announcements aren't showing up so far in jobless claims. They just dropped to a 7-month low. Listen, I support most of Trump's economic policies, but hiring people only to report good economic data is no better than what Biden and company were doing. Plus, there are still armies of deep state actors trying to skew data for political reasons. I think it's time to privatize the reporting of key data under the threat of legal consequences if you're found tampering. I only want honest and accurate economic data. Layoffs stemming from AI, automation, and robotics must be documented. They represent an existential risk to the U.S. economy, and I want the real data every month. I hear Thanksgiving, I think football. Can Jackson Smith-Njigba break the single-season NFL receiving yards record? Uncle Frank's got money down that says he can. And Saturday, we've got Ohio State versus Michigan. Ohio State is a 9.5 to 10-point favorite over Michigan in college football week 14. This one should be fun. Okay, so we had a short interest update on Tuesday. That's when you go check your favorite heavily shorted stocks. For example, Archer Aviation short interest was up by 17.8% from 10/31 to November 14th. The short interest position moved from 80 million shares up to 97.77 million. That's a short position change of just over 22%. You can review this data at Chart Exchange. They're betting we're not getting FAA certification soon. They're betting we're not sending a piloted plane to Abu Dhabi. I'm betting against them. Archer closed at 749, up 1.491% yesterday. My 750s expiring January 2nd are printing, so I'm happy so far. Guys, let's stay with the facts because I'm tired of all the hype. You're not going to want to hear a lot of this, but I'll be damned if I keep it from you. XRP faces heavy whale selling even as ETF demand surges. XRP whales sold more than 2.2 billion tokens in November. That's the highest monthly distribution since March of 2023. Despite record selling pressure, newly launched XRP ETFs absorbed strong inflows, driving exchange reserves on Binance to a 1-year low. XRP spent the week balancing two conflicting forces. On one hand, large wallet holders offloaded 2.2 billion tokens in November, equal to more than 4 billion in value, marking the most intense monthly sell-off in over a year. This wave of distribution pulled XRP into a fragile position, supported only by renewed interest following the launch of spot XRP ETFs. Whale addresses holding between 1 and 10 million XRP reduced their combined supply to a 32-month low of 4.39 billion tokens. Analysts warn that high-value wallets remain unconvinced about a sustained recovery. At the same time, ETF demand has accelerated. Exchange data shows XRP reserves on Binance fell to a 12-month low of 2.71 billion tokens after the ETFs went live. 4 major products recorded 9 straight days of positive inflows, resulting in more than 670 million in combined assets. Nearly 80 million XRP were absorbed on launch day alone, outpacing recent inflows seen in competing altcoin ETFs. So we did better than all the other ETFs, but because we have whales, selling 4.4 billion tokens, it's a net effect. XRP's price trades near 220, capped by resistance at 228, while holding support around 214. Analysts point out that ETF buying has helped prevent deeper declines during the recent selling cycle. Ripple's stablecoin, RLUSD, reached a market cap of $1.26 billion in November, coinciding with its regulatory approval for institutional use within Abu Dhabi's International Financial Center. Under the new designation, RLUSD can be used as collateral in lending flows and across prime brokerage platforms operating within the ADGM framework. Issuance has expanded on both Ethereum and the XRP ledger, although recent growth has been more pronounced on Ethereum. Analysts note that continued institutional adoption could position RLUSD among top stablecoins if the current trajectory persists. Well, that's great. Everything is great for Ripple, great for its stablecoin, but the people that bought XRP and that made everything Ripple does possible, retail, we're on the back burner again. We have amazing new ETFs launching. They were all delayed by the government. The bad actors had plenty of time to prepare. Whales, for some reason, are selling billions of tokens. So we're puttering around in price. This pattern seems to be repeating itself. Why whale behavior matters? XRP's net unrealized profit or loss recently dipped into the fear zone before showing a mild rebound. Historically, this area has produced either strong recoveries or deeper capitulation. Whether whales continue selling or pause distribution will influence the next directional move. ETF inflows have become a structural counterforce to whale selling. If sustained, these products could help stabilize price above the $2 level. However, continued distribution from large wallets heightens the risk of XRP revisiting the 214 or even the $2 psychological area. Time Traveler presents evidence of XRP price suppression. Time Traveler set off a wave of reactions when he posted a direct claim about XRP's sudden jump to almost 91 on Kraken. He wrote, quote, "This is not a drill," and called the move real. His post arrived while traders watched the chart show a price far outside XRP's usual range before it fell back near 2. His post framed the event as a significant moment rather than a mistake. The timing gave his message extra weight, since the event still amazes many users. So did XRP trade at 91 even for just a moment? Time Traveler's position is notable because he rejects any idea of a simple error. He said the price registered as legitimate before being suppressed on exchanges once again. Price suppression is not a new phenomenon in the XRP market. He certainly pushed many users to review the chart and question the short spike. The claim added tension to the ongoing discussion. He treated the event as a brief reveal of a true value before it vanished. His tone encouraged others to voice their own views with the same level of conviction. So was the $91 a glitch? I thought on the blockchain we weren't going to have any glitches. Experts say why no other asset than XRP experiences 45x glitches. Oh, I want to hear about this. The XRP price anomaly on Kraken continues to spark discussions in the community. It raises questions about why such extreme glitches occur almost exclusively with XRP. On November 19th, around 4:15 UTC, XRP briefly printed a candle as high as 91.60 on Kraken, representing roughly a 45x spike from its true market range near 216. The glitch lasted only seconds before the price returned to normal levels, yet the moment was enough to ignite new discussion across the XRP community. Community figures question why XRP experiences all the extreme glitches. In a tweet, Rob Cunningham from KUWL.show questioned why these kind of price distortions never seem to happen to other major digital assets. His posts drew attention from longtime observers who have followed XRP's unusual history of extreme wicks. Community member Arthur pointed out that in all his years watching the market, he's never seen a glitch on another crypto, at least not the extreme 20x to 45x wicks that keep happening with XRP. Another user, X-Finance Bull, added that these spikes always seem to pick XRP. Those reactions tie into a long-running belief within the XRP community that such glitches aren't random, but signs of deeper liquidity gaps waiting to be filled. While this idea is speculative, it resurfaces whenever a major XRP price anomaly occurs. Technical explanations for XRP's price glitches are consistent. A recent analysis by an ICP ecosystem builder showed how exchanges sometimes calculate cost averages when only a fragment of an order fills at an extreme price. Because XRP is divisible into very small units called drops, a tiny percentage of an outrageously high value can produce a distorted price print, even when the rest of the order executes normally. But guys, XRP has a long history of price anomalies. Kraken's earlier 91.62 wick recorded minutes after a crash to 0.00272. Binance displayed XRP at 579 in October of 2023. Gemini showed XRP at 50 after relisting in 2023. A Coinbase displayed issued in 2019 showed $7.30. CoinMarketCap briefly showed XRP at 161 million in 2023. Bitru's derivative market printing 0.0001 in 2023 is another example, and Poloniex momentarily dropped XRP to 0 in 2023. What can I tell you guys? It's a parade of suspicious headlines. XRP stuns derivatives market. XRP dropped a 1,447% liquidation imbalance in just 12 hours, flipping quiet derivatives trading into a rush hour of forced exits, where longs were cleared quickly, even though the spot chart barely showed any real volatility. XRP spent the session moving in a tight range, about 214 to 218, but the real action was not visible on the chart at all. It was buried in the liquidation feed, where the popular cryptocurrency suddenly posted one of its most distorted prints in days. According to CoinGlass, total liquidations hit 1.32 million. But the long versus short breakdown told the real story. 1.23 million flushed from longs, while shorts barely took an $85,500 hit. Here's some good news, guys. Ripple news. XRP ETFs could pull in 7 to 10 billion annually as demand accelerates. And that's good because Ripple plans to sell 1 billion tokens every month next year. Ripple to unlock 1 billion XRP on December 1st. Now you know why I wanted an IPO announcement from the Ripple Swell event. But let's end this episode on a high note. Blockbuster XRP ETF seen to drive 65% price rally as inflows beat Bitcoin. XRP ETFs are outpacing Bitcoin and Ethereum counterparts. Investors expect macro tailwinds as Fed governors signal December cut. XRP is set to jump 65% as it accelerates towards its all-time high amid a cascade of new Wall Street products, according to Lawrence Samantha, chief executive of crypto platform Nobi, not investment advice or advisor. The $133 billion crypto project has a clear path to a significant climb, which is a testament to its structural market shift, he told DL News, quote, "With financial firms now exploring XRP, we see that there is a chance of it reaching its old record high." Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button after this slide if you enjoyed the presentation. Subscribe to the channel and set the alert so you're notified when I have new information to share. See you at the bell.